Hello friends, welcome to the Neil's Homestead. We're joining a collaboration with Lorella Not a Farm Girl on a Three Sisters garden, and old guy and I are on our way up to look at a spot that we think we might be able to put it. So we're bringing you along with us, and let's get going. Right up here is the spot where we have our piles of wood chips. It's kind of out of the way of our regular garden. For different reasons, we were not able to put it where we would have put part of our garden normally, but I came up with the idea that this might be a pretty good place because it should have the soil built up with some organic matter in there, and all we need is about a 12-foot circle to do this project. So I think we're going to do this spot right here. It'll have good sun most of the day. Old guy's bringing the tractor out here to till up the soil. We ended up with a seed bed that's not too bad. It's not the greatest, but it's not too bad. On the top, it was fairly dry, but as we got down underneath, some clayish kind of wetter stuff came up in slabs. So we will have some clods in here, but I think I can work with it to get a pretty good place for some seeds to sprout. When the early colonists arrived in America, they observed a Native American planting method that was unique to them and their experience. This involved corn, climbing beans, and squash planted together in a mounded bed. The corn, being tall and generally strong, was placed in the center, with the pole beans planted around that in a circle. Outside of that circle, squash was grown. The beans climbed the corn stalks, and the large leaves of the squash plants covered the ground, smothering weeds as well as deterring deer with their spiny leaves. This method was given the name Three Sisters Garden. My plan for what I'm growing is hickory king corn. This is a old-fashioned field corn. It's called dent corn. It's grown for making hominy and for roasting, and I'm hoping that I can get enough corn grown this year to make some hominy this fall. And then I'm using the Waltham butternut squash. We grow a lot of this every year, and we like it best, that kind. It's very simple and it's good. And then I've got rattlesnake pole beans. The ideal way to do this is to plant the corn first and then wait until the corn is maybe as much as a knee high, and then plant the beans around the outside of that and the squash about the same time. We are full late getting this done this year because we've had weather that's just hasn't lent itself to doing it with so much wetness. So today I'm going to plant all of it at the same time, and I'll just see how it goes. Because this soil here is really quite poor, we've decided to bring in part of a scoop of compost and part of a scoop of soil that we've gotten collected from around the place. We have a pile back here, and so old guy's gone with his skid steer to bring that. I've laid down some 12-12-12 fertilizer. I'm going to work that in a little bit, and then we're just going to put the compost soil mixture on top of that. Well, I've got it smoothed down pretty good. It does have some sticks and little, not the cleanest dirt in the world, but I think it'll work. So I've got a circle here that's about 6 feet in diameter, and I think it's ready to plant. First, in the center, in a circle that is, I'm going to guess, about 2 feet, maybe 18 inches, I'm going to plant 2 seeds at a time every 6 inches. Okay, then I'll just cover that up. And then I'm going to make a circle about 2 inches outside of that, for my beans. I'm going to plant them every 3 inches. Then outside of that, I'm going to go about 4 or 5 inches and make another circle. In that circle, I'm going to plant my butternut squash. Now, I don't want them as thick in this process. I only want them to be, I only want like 4 of them in here, really. So I'm actually going to have more, but I might thin them down to about 4. Okay, we're going to get that all covered up. Now, this is pretty moist, but I think we'll give it a little wet down and so it can get a good start. In the right kind of conditions, green beans or beans should be sprouting within 3 days. It generally takes the corn about 5 days to germinate, and then the squash should come up within a week. So we'll just see how it goes. It's really warm. We've turned off hot here at our homestead, and I expect that the temperatures are going to be just right to get all this stuff to sprout. So thanks for joining me, and we'll watch for the update later. Make sure you watch the other videos that are in this collaboration. I'll put a link to them down in the description, and thanks for coming around. Bye.